Are you a writer struggling on your latest story? Stick to the end of the credits to figure out how Script It can help you out. What is going on, guys? Welcome to Guns Videos, and welcome back to my WTF series reviews, where I review something so bad that it's good or something so bad I would much rather have the pointy end of a screwdriver up my ass. And today I'll be reviewing Home Alone 3. Home Alone has so many sequels that people just did not know about. An older review I did was Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist. I had such a great time with that. And apparently you guys somewhat did. It got a good amount of views, but a good amount of dislikes too. So hopefully you guys will come back for this one and actually give me a like, because I need the attention. So I love how this movie opens up with the home logo. I forget what company it is, but it's like this Home Alone theme. But it has 9 houses, as if they're like, guess what, guys? 9 more sequels coming. It's symbolism to the amount of sequels Home Alone has, and that how many people actually know about it. This one is very unique out of the entire saga, which is weird to think about, of Home Alone. It involves terrorists. It takes such a basic ass concept like Home Alone, and then you're like, okay, let's involve spies, terrorists, bombs, all this shit, and then just involve an 8-year-old kid, because what can go wrong? I'll give this film credit where credit is due. It tried to be different, but it also tried being the same in a very bad way. Because, again, the concept of Home Alone, where, like, burglars or whatever, someone's trying to break into the house. At the end of the day, someone's trying to break into your house and you still have traps. That's what the plot is centered around in all these Home Alone movies. There's only so much you can do about it. And with this movie, I actually liked the parenting in this one, because honestly, she's like, I don't want to leave you home alone because, you know, you're a kid, you're sick, and I just get bad vibes. I'm not a bad parent. And that they make that very apparent. The kid's smart enough to call the cops, because Kevin McAllister, you guys, I know everyone who's watching this probably loves Kevin McAllister, but he's kind of a serial killer. He didn't call the cops once. He was just ready for war. And I'm like, but you won't have a movie, so sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. And I feel like I give them credit for this movie for at least attempting to do some logic with it. So this is pre-9/11, because when I was watching this, they're talking about sneaking a computer chip in an RC car through TSA. And I'm like, that just will never happen again. Good luck. I had to look up the date that this was released, because I thought this was post 9/11. I didn't know how old this movie was, but it came out in 97, so this movie's fucking older than me. We're a secret terrorist organization, tens of millions of dollars on the line. Instead of like getting our own secret jet, our private jet, instead of doing that and flying it to the place we need to go, let's go to a public airport where luggage can be mixed up, because, you know, people apparently have the same exact plastic bag as you. Ironically, where there's hundreds of thousands of people a day, and you ran into the one person. Whatever. The super secret terrorist organization, they're like, okay, let's sneak this super secret terrorist weapon that will, like, I think it was like, secretify the bombs and the nukes or some shit like that. So when they're sending bombs to the USA, they can't stop it because they won't be able to hit them, because the computer locking chip is like an no, don't touch me there. And it's just like, that's the big thing. Tens of millions of dollars, and they're like, let's put this on a plane in LAX, because what can go wrong, right? So they go to Chicago, because this old lady picks it up because she's kind of being a bitch. She just takes a bag, doesn't look through it, because, you know, what are the chances? She goes all the way to Chicago without even looking at the thing, and then she finds out it's a fucking RC car, gives it to this kid, and this kid is having a grand old time with this terrorist weapon inside a fucking RC car. And this whole movie is one big stretched line of, like, how much are you willing to take? Like, the plot itself is so crap. Like, how much are you willing to take for the plot? Because if you're here to watch for the traps, I hate to tell you, but they're pretty shit. So you either coming for the plot, or you're coming for the traps, or you're coming for character development, because guess what? There's no character development. This kid's perfect. He's smarter than the fucking FBI. I mean, he's outsmarted 4 terrorists with super secret spyware who had a camera that fucking size in his glove. And he got outsmarted by an 8-year-old. It's just... This kid's perfect. And he talks like an adult. He's talking about, like, how the perfect time to, like, get burglared or burglarized or stolen or robbed is during the day, because this is a white picket fence suburban neighborhood. And if the burglars are smart enough, they'll actually, do that, because ironically, 5 minutes ago, that's what the robbers said. So it's kind of a symbolism, but I'm just like, wow, this feels like a draft one right. The irony, the amount of shit you have to buy to just get through this movie is incredible. But they're like, well, it's going to be awesome for the climax. And one of those many incidences where this movie tries to make you buy shit, like, just like, where you're just sitting there like, huh? What did you want me to buy? One of the scenes is where this kid has got a fucking sniper scope on his fucking TV remote that he stole from the neighbor's house. That's probably a good, 35, 40 yards away. It's on the other side of the street. And he's scoping it on this TV. And he's changing the channel and turning it off. I'm like, dude, 2020 here? Right? 2020, by the way. If I don't have this thing aimed directly at the fucking square of my TV at least 10 to 15 feet, my TV is not changing at all. It's got to be dead center. It can't be to the side. It can't be upside fucking down. It's got to be nice and centered. This is 1997, where the internet, if you had the internet, you were some cool hipster. It wasn't like everyone had it. Twitter wasn't the thing, so you didn't have people going all over the thing because you said something that you disagreed with. So you just fucking... This is a very, 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 very young internet, and you're trying to tell me this kid's sniping with a controller 50 yards away through a window? Okay, brother. Okay. The jokes in this movie are garbage. I literally laughed once, and it was at the very end of the movie, and I'll get to that later. The jokes are so bad, and I know they think they're being funny because they do these awkward pauses of like, boopity. It's funny. And you're like, and the cameraman's just like this, soak it in. Breathe it in. Are you laughing yet? Are you coming home, mama? Mama. Yeah, again, they're awful. Terrible timing. And it doesn't help that the actors are not doing good either. I feel like they can be good, but they just knew the script was crap, so they just were kind of showing up for a paycheck. The thing that makes slapstick funny is when it feels painful. You gotta see it, and then you gotta go, ooh. Then you laugh about it. How do you fuck that up? There's a literal scene where a dude gets hit by a car going at least 35. And they made it look like it was staged. All you had to do was make it look ferocious and real. And then you would have been good. Pad the guy up. Get a stunt double in there. Actually hit him. It's going to suck for the stunt man, but they do that for a reason. Like, I'm telling you, like, he jumped into it. And you saw him jump into it. And you saw him brace for impact and spread his body out so it minimizes the damage at one point so he doesn't break a fucking rib. Come on. And here comes the biggest problem for me when it comes to the plot. If you're going to go with secret spy terrorists, you got to make them actually smart. Like, in the beginning of the movie, they're super calculating, very, spec ops about it. And then they get to this kid's house and they start making the dumbest mistakes. They're making a Marv. And if you guys don't get that reference, then why are you watching this review? And when it comes to the grand finale, this kid planned everything out. Like, it felt like no matter what they did, he planned for it. He just had a plan for everything in that short amount of time. And that's my one problem with the Home Alone original and the sequel, is just the fact that it felt like he planned for everything. Not so much in 2 because he did get captured, but in this one, like, they couldn't touch him. He was just immortal. He was a god. And it just didn't have any stakes to it because, I don't know, you gotta have emotion when things are happening. Like, what makes a good action sequence? It's when you care for the person. Hence, John Wick. If he's just going around chopping dudes, yeah, it would be visually appealing because the action's actually shot properly and you can see what the hell's going on. Not being chopped, 7 shots in 7 different angles for one fucking swing. You can actually breathe. Yeah, it'll be visually appealing, but there won't be any raw emotion. John Wick would not be here if that dude didn't stomp on his dog's neck. Now, take this scene. Yeah, it's drastically different movies, yes, but the slapstick doesn't work because A, it's not painful. B, there's no stakes because he just plans for everything. Even when I thought he was like trapped or like he didn't plan for something, he did plan for it. He was just plain stupid. I'm like, oh, come on. This kid's 8. I mean, Kevin McAllister's traps were absurd, but they were somewhat believable. Like, that was a pill I could swallow. And this kid's doing shit that I just know that's not possible. There's no stakes. There's no emotion. Therefore, the slapstick is the worst part about this movie. The one thing that you're watching a Home Alone movie for, it's terrible. It's literally the staple of what Home Alone is. It's like watching a Looney Tunes cartoon and there being no slapstick. Imagine. I mean, there is the Looney Tunes TV show. What is that one? The one with their team. That's beside the point. I'm getting sidetracked. So the cops finally believe him. The FBI shows up because he reported earlier in the movie about this computer chip. And he called a Air Force like hiring agency, whatever. And he's like, here's the code on the chip. And then they finally found out, which is weird because that took a full day and a half, I think. If I was that guy at the Air Force base, I'm like, you know what? What's going to harm me if I just look it up right now or take it to somebody who actually knows? And then guess what? If that guy who sends it to this one guy, and this one guy sees that there's a possible, chip on the loose, I would look into it, especially when there's a fucking chip actually on the loose. Type that shit in. Send the FBI, send everyone, send everybody. This thing could literally destroy America, and it's at this fucking 8-year-old's house. God knows what's going on right now. Let's send it. And that would take 2.5, 3 hours, depending where they're deploying from. But it took them a day and a half. Whatever. To that last joke that actually made me laugh. It was so dumb, but I think it was, like, obviously the best joke of the movie. Where all the burglars are caught and they're doing their stupid one-liners, whatever. The one main villain escaped and he's hiding in this little igloo, and for some reason the parrot found him in his RC car. And he starts singing. The guy gets scared. He's like, shush, 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 shush. Here's a cracker. And then the parrot, fucking being a gangster and everything, is like, double or nothing. And the guy was like, but I only have the one. And then the parrot looks doesn't even budge, right? Has the match in his mouth, right? He goes like this. And just lights it. And then the fireworks in this igloo go off because there's apparently fireworks in this thing, because again, the kid just planned for everything. Like, imagine, it's like Vietnam. That house is filled with booby traps and landmines. Like 3 years down the line, they're gonna be going down the steps, and then they're gonna like hit this one small little pressure plate. He's like, "Oh shit, watch out!" Fucking breaks her goddamn leg. Sorry, that was from 3 years ago. How many more is in this household? I don't know, about 75, 80. in the backyard alone. What the fuck? I had a plan for everything. I'm Batman in this universe, bitch. By the way, Scarlett Johansson is in this movie, so that's pretty cool. Not that good in this movie either. Anyways, guys, that is Home Alone 3. What are my thoughts? Not good. Horrible. Not funny. No charm. No heart. Slapstick was god-awful. I think it's... I haven't seen 5 in a while, and I don't want to see it again, but I don't know if 5 was worse. And I think 5 was worse on a technical standpoint. Because, again, they did at least make the attempt to show him trying to call the cops and him actually trying to get help if, conflict ensues so they don't believe him. That's a pill I can swallow. So I give them that. Yeah, I give them that. It's something that Kevin McAllister didn't do, and we all cheer for him, and he's a fucking sociopath. And before we wrapped up today's video, I wanted to thank Chris Hicks with Scripted. Scripted is an online source. If you guys are new to screenwriting, or you just have this awesome idea, but you just can't seem to fix it up, clean it up, or you just can't get that one story beat down, something doesn't feel right, Scripted is the source for you. Are you a new coming screenwriter and you just need advice step by step along the way? There's an option there for you too. Scripted is the perfect place to go for all your screenwriting needs for all budgets. Thank you guys. Hope you guys go check it out. And when you go give them a message, make sure you tell them Dump sent you. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all on top. Later and goodbye. Peace.